Smite tier list. We have S plus, which is broken, banned every game. S tier, which is just top pick, probably played in pretty much every game if you're trying to win. A tier are going to be your gods that are good. You can be played in almost every comp. B tier are going to be hyper situational type of gods that people main, so that's what they play the most. Then C tier is just going to be gods that really shouldn't be played very much. They're not good. Okay. It's really that easy. Just so we go into this, it's gonna go on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. Quit trolling, and don't freak out when your favorite god is put lower. And understand, in a game where A tier, like I explained, A tier is where most gods are going to be, because that's your average god, your god that can be played on most platforms, or sorry, most comps, no matter what the meta turns into or whatever. They can be played all the time, right? We got Achilles. We got an Achilles gamer. Just from seeing him played, okay, but not competing with a lot of these solo laners that are gonna be put in the meta. So A tier. Agni, hyper A tier god. Just not the safest early, and then once you get into mid and late game, his range is decent, but doesn't compete with a lot of these mages that comes through. I know AMC is doing better. People are liking AMC a lot more, and I know with the steroid build, the bow build, you're seeing him a lot more. I'm gonna put him into A for now. Easily could see him start getting played a lot, but does and should really get clip Clapperton by Artemis, which is gonna be played way more than AMC. Apuch, you already know that's going in C tier because Duru, not safe, doesn't do enough damage, nowhere to really play him, and having an anti-heal kit into a meta where there's no healers doesn't really matter. Amaterasu kind of popping right now, solo and jungle with the auto attack builds coming back. S tier. On her is weird because Honor's really good, but Chiron got buffed and hard countered on her, so we saw Honor played less. We're gonna put Honor in A. I would say by himself, great god, but in terms of like matchups and everything, yeah, like Riley says, these matchup god. If you know the matchup going into it, Honor could be fucking top tier, but if you don't know the matchup or you pick it early or whatever, you're probably getting stomped. If you're taking a fight you don't understand, so we're gonna go in A tier, be average, just super flip-floppy on what you're playing against. Anubis is low tier, can be played, but has to be built correctly. The build's changing. You need a little bit tankier in your build. You have to play safe, and you need a team comp that's going to play around you, which is very difficult. Clanger Banger, average as hell, even through the changes. No items made him better. Aphrodite, B tier, really, if you're playing her, it's like solo, and you're praying you don't get ganked, or mid, and you're hoping you can get through the early game. And even then, anti-heal is going to hard counter you, so super hard to get away with. Apollo, average after his nerfs. Arachne, this is a ranked casual tier list. Overall, Arachne is not the best god in the world, not the best team fight god, none of that shit. But in ranked and casuals, where team fights don't happen very much, Arachne is your #1 jungler to just power farm ranked, power farm through casuals. You spider up, you get ahead at XP, you look for an early gank on mid, whoever, you get a cringe gank off, and then you have a direct lead the rest of the game. Arachne is easily the easiest snowball jungler in the game right now. S tier, you're not going to see her banned ever, but she's going to be a solid pick out of the jungle all the time. Aries, average as hell, need to really position and hit your chains all the time and get the early aggression. If you don't, you're fucked. Artemis, played a hell of a lot more. The bow build, it's on Smite Source, smitessource.com. If you don't know what it is, go look. Doing great for her. You're seeing her played all the time. Oddly enough, she was one of the highest win rate hunters and one of the highest win rates in the game through the whole time when she was Duru, because she's an easy playstyle for casual and ranked. You blink, if you want to go hyper aggressive, you blink, you ult, and you run at people. Anytime you're doing that, similar to the Arachne playstyle, where you're just running at people, auto attacking, people freak out and allow you to do free damage, and you kind of just fuck everyone. Then with the bow build, as soon as you get that first kill off your ult, you're getting the passive triggered in Atalanta's, and you're just running everyone else down. Artemis doing really well. Artio is one of those counter pick support solo gods. You pick them to counter super movement teams, the dashes and everything else. Athena is going to be your top support god if you're playing support and you're not super comfortable with it, or it's not your main role. You pick Athena, you taunt people, and you ult your teammates whenever they're fighting or being ganked. Easy peasy. Awilix is a very average god, very good with the lead, and way better in the counter matchups. So it's a solid god you can pick all the time, but if you're getting it in the counter matchups, you're going to be happy. Baba Yaga, average after all the buffs. If you're a good Baba Yaga player, you should feel pretty safe most of the time. It's a hard god to kill, but also not the easiest god to pump out a lot of damage on. Akis, an average support, doesn't have the best anything, but is an aggressive support, which does well in casuals and ranked. Makasura, similar to Arachne, a really good pub stompy casual ranked jungler, real easy to farm on. The meta definitely is going to favor him with the auto attack items being so good and the ability to go crit or just regular auto attack, but not as easy and as safe and as clean as playing something like Arachne where you just 3-2-1 combo over and over and over again. Aaron, hyper situational. Maybe solo. Please don't play it in support and get Clip Clapperton over and over again. Bastet, doo-doo tier. Really not doo-doo tier. You can play Bastet, but you shouldn't. Compared to every other jungler, she's doo-doo tier. She's an ult bot. You fight with the ult, and that's it. Nothing else to it. So probably don't play much Bastet. Bellona, seen a little bit of spike in play. I think Bellona's okay. I really don't, even with the item changes and everything, I don't think Bellona's nuts. I think the other auto attack gods just do what Bellona wants to do 1,000 times better and 1,000 times easier, but she's still doing okay. Bracken. I like Bracken in the jungle. Still a really good god when you need magic damage in the jungle. Your real options out of magic damage in the jungle are Quang, Hebo, and Bracken. Play some other shit like Athena and everything, but those are your solid 3 for trying to carry through matches. Decent god. Camazotz, solid, semi-safe. Doesn't have hard CC, which makes him a little bit weaker and not that easy to just power carry your whole team. A tier. Cerberus, really aggressive support, super good late game god, buffs all your fucking magic damage coming out, solid god to have, but nothing more than that. Cern, another average hunter. Honestly, Cern, I'm putting in B tier. I don't care what you say about Cern. The ultimate is very easy to play around. The 2 is very easy to play around. It's pretty much auto attacks with the buffed 1, and your average player has no idea how to use the buffed 1 and cycle through it properly. So Cern gets horrible use out of your average player. I would not play Cern. Chalk. Why the fuck are you playing Chalk, bro? Stop. Please stop playing Chalk. You have to get like 3 early kills to be super useful in a meta where auto attacking and being an auto attack god is so good. Easy to build Toxic Blade and counter Chalk's healing. Stop playing Chalk. Tier 5 skin is good. I get it. It's nice. Blackjacks, I hear you. Tier 5 Chalk skin is cool. I like it. Chalk's not good. Chunga, close range, weak healing, and not the best. You pretty much are another alt bot that can play around the team if they're very slow and passive playing, which doesn't happen in your games. So Chunga is going to underperform most of the time. Chernabog. I think Chernabog is very good, very easy to play. I'm putting him in the S tier because you have an ult that rotates for you, so you can play the split push bot in your ranked and casuals, which will win you more games than not, honestly. And when you're split pushing, if someone rotates to you, you ult in the team fight, you win the game. The steroid buffs, Artemis getting the attack speed on the 2, Chernabog getting the attack speed on his fucking, is it his 2? It's his 2. It's gonna make the bow build better and just make him hit harder and be easier to play. Solid. Chiron's doing very well. Chiron I'm throwing in the S tier because of his counter on her and being one of the better ability type hunters to be played in this patch. Kronos, I have not seen Kronos do anything. Kronos like peaks because people want him to be good, and then he does nothing and he just falls back down. Kronos is super situational. You have to have like, I don't know, you want magic damage and you need an auto attack at the same time. Very situational. Cthulhu, average as fuck, still annoying to team fight against, but doesn't crush lane or do anything crazy right now. Cucullin I think is still pretty good even through those ability warriors being nerfed. Solid god to play, but just average. Gonna be frustrating, but also playing against auto attack gods is frustrating, so it just is what it is. Cupid, I played Cupid yesterday and I don't remember how much they nerfed the 1. I'm pretty sure that's what they nerfed, right? The clear on the 1. It felt like shit where Cupid jungle used to be nuts. Most of these gods are in a counter. Artemis is going to hard counter Cupid. A lot of these gods are going to do very well into Cupid. Cupid's not going to be the best, but it's just a very average pick where you aren't going to counter many gods. You're just going to be super, super average and be able to play around that healing, that team fight ultimate for the rest of the team for the late game. That's going to be solid. Daji, I think, is one of the more underrated junglers right now. They buffed the 2, so it pretty much has like no cooldown once you build CDR. Super bursty, very easy to be safe, get the burst off, and get up in your ult. And a lot of the gods that are coming out are aggressive like altars, so their CC immune ults are used very early in team fights, and when you're a jungler you want to go in late. I think Daji is, if you want a team-based jungler, I like Daji more than Hun Bats right now. The builds allow her to build however she wants to. She does very well. Serrated claps on her, all the items do well on her. Just about being patient, which is a weird playstyle, but a lot of you have very slow playstyles. Daji will do good for you guys. Danza, decent, average. You saw after his nerfs he was doing okay at best. Has some bad matchups, has some good matchups. Discordia, very average god that buffs his teammates. You don't want to do that as a mage. You just want to be a mage pumping damage. Erlang Shen, for casuals and ranked, I'm putting an S tier as a jungler. I wouldn't play in the solo lane. The auto attack build makes him better. You're super tanky, going mannequins, stone cutting, and berserker. What is that like? I think it's like, was that like 60 protections or 50 protections once you finish 2 items and you have a starter item, which that early in the game is, you can't compete with it. If you're another physical god with somebody who has CC and healing in their kit, you can't compete with it. So his early pressure is ridiculous. Fafnir, solid god with the auto attack gods being played. Whenever auto attack gods spike, we're talking about the warriors being played, the jungler auto attack gods being played, the steroid fucking gods being played in the ADC. Fafnir spikes. Fafnir probably going to be higher tier once we see the pros playing it for a little while. If they are running auto attack heavy builds, you're going to see Fafnir. If not, he'll stay in A tier. Fenrir, A tier, just a tanky, annoying god. Freya, I think, is still doing shit. I have fun playing her in the jungle, but she seems like shit. This might be like a huge, I want her to be good, so I don't want to overrate her. Like, I don't want to throw her at A because I really do want her to be good. You build Hasten and you're okay, but do you compete with like Artemis and everything else? I feel like you don't. I don't think Freya's gonna be played very much. Maybe situational. Maybe when the spin's playing her and gets a fucking pentakill on her in an SBL game, we see her spike. Till then, I'm gonna throw her in a B. Ganesh, average as fuck, even though people seem to hate him for no reason. Geb, a very average, easy to play supports. Doesn't bring too much to the fight, but brings enough. Guan Yu, I have not seen anyone play Guan yet this patch. Like, at all. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Guan played at all. But you're talking about Guan into really easy to play Sunder games. So, like, Sunder's gonna be built in every game, if not twice in every game. So Guan Yu on his horse is gonna get super smashed by hunters and mages. It's kind of similar to like Vamana ult, where it's a big target running at you and you're usually out of position with it because you feel safe. So Guan Yu, average. We'll see how that plays out. I feel like he's never gonna be top tier again this season. Hachi got the steroid buff. Safe God, doing okay. Hades, I want to see Hades play at the pro level. I've seen him played a lot in my casuals. I don't think I saw him in any of the rank games unless he was being banned, which is definitely possible. Does anyone have information on that? Is he being banned in like the pro games, like the fucking top end 3K MMR games? I know he's busted in casuals, and I know he'll farm kids in lower end ranked, but I want to know if he's being banned in their games or just not played. I feel like you guys have to watch some of the higher end rank games. I'm gonna throw him in S tier for this, for casuals and rank, because you will win way more if you're playing. If you play Hades solo, especially in auto attack gods like Bologna and shit, you will do very, very well into those matchups. Hebo, pretty much the best magic jungler in my opinion right now. They buffed his one, so his clearing's better. Throw Bumbas on that bitch, plus not having to go boot, so you get to peak earlier, kind of like Kali. Solid magic jungler right now. Really, really, really good. I would put him in A+ if I had an A+ tier here. I should have added an A+ tier. I would put Hebo a little bit ahead for sure than a lot of these gods, but not much. Heimdall, average. I think Heimdall's good. I think it's played better at the pro level and at the highest level of rank than it is in your casual and rank game, so I wouldn't play much Heimdall. It's pretty much the use of your 3, and most people do not use the 3 flawlessly. Hell, Duru tier, fully countered and just gets bobbed super easily. Hera, average as fuck. I would not play much Hera because you're pretty much an alt bot in that situation as well. Not really the best position to be in as a mage right now. Hercules, average. Bluestone him up, throw him in the solo. You'll do decent until late game, then you get clapped. Sunder will fuck him, and anti-heal will fuck him. Horus getting played a little bit more. I like Horus support. I don't like him anywhere else. I think as support, he's really fucking frustrating to play against, and he's gonna do decently when you need physical damage or you need an aggressive support. Yi, another average hunter, doing solid in the meta, but not tip top. Hunbat's always your staple team fight jungler, A tier. Eset doing a little bit better in the meta. I don't mind seeing Eset anymore. Don't think she's great. Some of the minor league, I think Sino is playing her in the jungle in the minor league and doing really well with her. That's a like 1 of 1. I would not do that, but in the mid lane, solid pickup. Izanami, doo-doo tier. I'll throw her in A. I hate Izanami. The dash is shit, and it causes you to be shit. You have a steroid on the god. The steroid build will work on the god, but I do not recommend playing Izanami over most gods. I don't think she's situational. I think you could play her and she'll give you some pressure and kind of play the beginning early game for you if you're a bad hunter player, but in the mid and late game you'll get shit stomped because your dash is ass. Janice, good players playing Janice, S+ tier. Everyone else that isn't a pro fucking top tier mid laner, A tier, average at best. You're not using your ult properly. You're doing okay. The damage is decent. The mage builds are definitely still working towards Janice's favor. Average god. Jingwei, super safe hunter. That's all it always is. Super safe, meaning very hard to fucking kill this god. Basically immune to knockups because you dash out of all of them. CC immune ultimate, the ability to anytime you feel threatened back and fly right back in safely. Just an annoying, safe hunter. Jormungandr, A tier right now, doing a lot better. I want to see if he gets played at the higher level at all. I don't think they're touching Guardians though. Don't think Guardians are being seen at all. Kali is S tier. Rushed late game because we're removing boots, we're removing all that bullshit. So Kali's getting late game earlier. Berserker shield being crazy buffed, pretty much being fucking OP as hell for her, the way she works. If you don't know what Berserker shield passive is, it gives you 30 power and 20% attack speed when you fall below 40% HP. Basically, anytime you're ulting for that 5-second ult duration, you have a 5-second buff to make it that much easier to get that kill you up. Ollie's doing fucking great. Love the builds. You don't need to go crit. You do not want to go crit. You want to go the auto attack build. It's on Smite source. Khepri, another average support. Same old Khepri. He does not stomp in lane. He's not doing great in team fights. He's just boring old dash somebody, start the fight, and then sit back and ultimate. King Arthur nerfed into the ground, but not as bad as everyone thought. He's not fucking S+ tier, impossible to fucking deal with anywhere more, but he was nerfed really, really hard and does not compete with some of these solo laners that are being played. Kulkin, I think we're seeing a big boom in play in him. I think he's really good, but he's still an immobile mage, no real instant dash or anything like that. And you have to be super consistent with the ultimate, with the ability to stack and get a ton of mana earlier in the game. Peak earlier in the game is really good for Kulkin. Kumba, Ash Cheeks, I don't know why you would play that as a support. Kuzimbo, B tier, I don't know where you would play that or why you would play it when you could play Athena or Geb or Fafnir or a warrior, an aggressive fucking support. Just don't do this to yourself. Loki, I hate doing this. Dude, Kumba is terrible. Kumba's damage was all nerfed to like half of what it used to be, and he doesn't do anything. Fuck you, Kumba's ass. Loki, being banned in pro games right now. Really high scaling, really easy to build damage, and just does great out of the jungle. The Loki is fucking nuts. I'd say S+, but you don't need to ban this. It's just very frustrating to play against a good Loki who understands you build normal damage. You don't go crit. You don't cancel abilities. Your 3 has 200% scaling. Just build damage and one-shot everybody. Medusa started being played a lot more with the ability hunters being played more. So she's just sitting in that average tier. Mercury, I think, is good. Building crit is awesome. I really wish I had an A+ tier. Is there a way to add a tier? Is there a way to put like one more? Am I missing something? Like one more tier in this bitch? I don't think there is. I would put Loki. I would put Medusa at A+ tier. I put Kulkin at an A+ tier. A little gear. This gear? Oh shit. Nice. Okay, now it's fucked. You're trolling me. You have to change this? Oh, there we go. It's just lagging. Whoo, let's get the shit out of me. There we go. Dope. Okay, so like I said, I would put Mercury in A+. The crit build and having hunters not building tons and tons of crit makes it super easy to get away with Mercury, so he's doing better. I have to scroll through here and see if I missed anything else. I would put Fafnir in A+. Am I missing anything else? Hebo, I said I would put in A+. No, I wouldn't move on her to A+. I'd leave on her at A. I would not move E set either. You're trolling. I would put Makasura for casuals ranked for sure A+. That's about it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And like I said, you could argue for casual and ranked Medusa A+ or A. I think either's fine. It's just the lower level Medusa does better. The mid to higher level Medusa doesn't do as good. She's super easy to kill. Merlin, average as fuck. If the Mirrodin staff hadn't been nerfed, Merlin would have been S tier. But because it's nerfed and it's really just okay, I'm putting him at an... Alright, that's a lie. I'm putting him at A+. That's not fair to put him with a fucking Discordia and some other gods. He's still doing good, but he would have been S plus if that Mirrodin hadn't been nerfed in the ground. Mulan still underperforming a little bit, even after the 18 million buffs she's getting. She's not an auto attack god, so she isn't gonna spike in play. She's doing average. She's just really not that great. Neith, another staple fucking average character in the game. Nemesis, I would put up here an S. I wouldn't ban Nemesis every game, but I could see Nemesis being banned. Auto attack fucking build, hybrid auto attack build, ability auto attack build. They all fucking work. Anything on this god works. She stomps. And if you manage to get away with having her and a Sunder on your targets, they can't live. You cannot live through a Nemesis Sunder combo. It's physically impossible. You will insta-die. Naja, risky average fucking god. Even with a lead, you can throw a game by missing one ultimate. So super A tier. Nike, situational. You're playing it if you want to be annoying to a massive auto attack comp, like ranged auto attack comp. Really, really not going to be something you're prioritizing. Nox, ass tier. Needs to be changed, reworked. Nua, average. Safe, boring, slow mage that can just ult everybody. Odin got buffed. We'll say situational. I want to see a pros play him in support role. I don't think he's good in the solo lane. Olaron got some buffs, and we're going to throw him in the average tier. Now he can ultimate and not get CC'd for 20 minutes. See how that plays out. Osiris, big spike in play because auto attack warriors are doing a lot better. Berserker shield buff, all that shit you guys already know. Being played in the jungle, good early mid game, and then the solo lane, good until late game. Pele, I love Pele right now, dude. Even though she's not an auto attack god, she's fucking cracked. She does really good. Very easy to play, very easy to rotate. The 3 movement speed on top of just getting the static movement speed without backing. Very nice for farming early game. Persephone is really good. Gonna throw an A plus tier. Frustrating god to play against. Poseidon, he's okay, but he's still a risky semi-alt bot where it's really hard to be consistent with landing your 1. Raijin getting played a lot more. Everyone's getting tired of playing against Raijin, but Raijin's doing very well. Safe dash, really good ultimate to get in and out, or to really get into a fight without actually being in the middle of the fight, or push people away and peel for yourself. Rama getting a spike in play because of the steroid. You're going to see it played a lot. It's also got the safe ult to bait people in or just do damage from across the map. Even if you suck dick at team fighting and positioning, you can ult and help your jungler dive the backline by playing Rama. Ra, average. I've seen Ra played with the new buffed what's the fucking item called, bro? The magical defense starter item. I don't know why my brain's not working. I literally can't think of the item. Vamp Shroud. Yeah, so the new buffed defensive Vamp Shroud, not the offensive one. The defensive one is fucking insane, and I saw people doing it with Ra. It's filthy. It is actually fucking gross. It's the blood soaked shroud. I think it's blood soaked shroud is what it's called. You're seeing it played. A lot of top level players are playing on a lot of mages. It's actually kind of cracked on Ra, and it's pretty cool to see because Ra is hard to position. You get the slow movement, so you can be kind of annoying dancing around a fight, but you can't really get in and out of a fight super easy. So that allows you to sustain a little bit more, be a little bit tankier, and do really well. Yeah, that item is overtuned and probably going to get nerfed, and when it does, it's going to affect some gods like that. Ratatowski doing very average right now, even with the new boots that are actually useful and cheaper, but still not a whole item type thing. Ravana, one of the best ability junglers in the game. He has been for the longest time. That's not going to change. Scylla doing decent in this meta. Power spiking super early is really good for a god like Scylla, where her early game is pretty much non-existent. She just instantly gets the mid game where she hits for 600 with her 2. Serket, tanky Serket with Sunder. If it's not played at the pro level, I'll be mind blown because you already saw Serket played at a high level multiple times because she can build full defense and still help and kill somebody and set up a team fight. She can do that again with the Sunders. She can do it to 2 people with the Sunders. In and out of a team fight, it's just very, very annoying to play against Serket, like tanky Serket right now. I haven't seen Set played at all. I'm assuming he's still cracked. I would probably put him in S plus tier if I'd seen him played. I don't know why he wouldn't still be at the top of the meta because nothing really changed to affect him too much, but we'll see in the next month if that drops or not. Scotty doing average. Haven't seen her popping off at all, even before she was an average ability hunter when the ability hunters were good for the last month. Sobek, I like Sobek's support. I think he's really good. I think the anti-heal's nice, really good for setup, super easy to play as long as you don't miss every single pluck. Soul, I think Soul's doing really well right now. Her damage is high. I think people are just learning how to play her again, and people that haven't played against her for a long time really underestimate her damage, so she's doing well as a magical auto attack god. Really, I like seeing her in the mid. Nobody plays her really as an ADC. You play her in mid when she's played. I'm crazy. What is crazy? Soul not S tier? This is your casual and ranked for your average like player. Your average player is not playing Soul hard. Like, she's a hard god to play right. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Most of you are not playing her like she's cracked. High level player is gonna do work with her. Your average player is gonna do slightly above average with her consistently. Sun Wukong, I don't think he got hit too hard. I think he's still pretty good. Super safe solo laner. I'm gonna put him in A+. Susano, I think he's doing very well with the no boots buying the earlier items. Rushing into a crusher causes him to do a lot of damage at level 5 with that ult combo. If you guarantee yourself a kill at level 5 on a jungler, you're usually going to be good for that fucking next like 10-minute mark, or through the 10-minute mark, and that's what Susano really needed. So I think he's doing decent. I don't think he's insane. I don't think he's going to be top pick, but I think he can be played and do very well. Sylvanas, still doo-doo. He seems to be getting a rework soon. It was data mined that he's going to get a rework on, I think it was his passive, and then his like 2 and his 1 or something, or his 2 and his 3, or maybe it was his passive and his 2. I don't remember. They're doing something to Sylvanas. He's doing okay right now. He's going to be changed. Who knows what's going to be better or worse. Terra, ult bot, still decent. Thanatos, risky, super average jungler in my opinion. I think anytime you have a meta where you think you can go an item first and rush, it's going to snowball even harder. Realistically, this shift in the builds and building full build earlier affects gods that were really bad early a lot more than gods that were really good early. Thanatos needed Eye of the Jungle and Jotuns, like tier 1 Jotuns, to be good, to kill somebody at level 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's not getting a huge buff. He's not becoming a lot better. Like, that isn't changing. Those starter items are still the same starter items. I saw people tweeting me and were like, I think you can go like no starter and this and that. You're really not going to get away with it. He's doing decent. I'd say he's still pretty good snowballing, but not super reliant. Morgan, really good pressure mid laner. Like her a lot. Her ult is still fucking amazing with all these gods being so good with their ultimates. Thor, average as fuck. You can keep buffing him. Nothing's going to happen. Thoth, I think, is a good mid, but I think people really struggle to position and deal with dive characters. And every single solo jungle support combo is a dive character. So Thoth just gets punished. And you really have to be insane at positioning to get good use out of Thoth. Tyr, I think, is still great as a solo lane. Wouldn't play him in the jungle. One of those ability solos that really isn't impacted much. Bluestone is still great, and he still does well into a lot of his matchups. Fuck Tyr. My boy just got farmed by Tyr. I think Ul is one of the best ability hunters to play right now. Still Ul though. Super late game, decent, good, not fucking crazy, not a crazy late game character. The early mid spike is nicer for him because he gets his item online right away. I could see him being bumped up to S tier and really hard to deal with. I'm gonna leave Ul in A+. Look, I'm gonna say this now. If you're on YouTube or you're on Twitch, if you think something is super cracked, super insane, I'm way off. If you think Ul should have been S+ tier, show me the games of you playing him that makes it seem like he should be S+ tier. I want to see it. Like, if you think I'm wrong, if you're like, yeah, dude, way better, show me your games if you play him. If you can prove it to me, I'll gladly listen and gladly be like, yeah, you're right, okay. But you gotta show me the games, because you can't just say shit without proof. It doesn't work like that. All right, Vamana is gonna get fucking railed in this meta. The Sunder is too OP for Vamana to do anything but die. Vamana is butt cheeks. Vulcan, average as fuck. Super easy to kill, super easy to die, but also pumps out a good amount of damage. So average as fuck. Shabalanke, I think, is doing decent in this meta. His ultimate on that new pizza skin is broken. You can't see anything when he ultimates. Rat is global. Why not A+? Global doesn't make you A+. Global doesn't make you any better than anything else. It makes no sense. Thor has a semi-global just like Rat. He's not doing good at all. That logic is flawed. Xing 10, I kind of think in this auto attack, like if we see a heavy auto attack meta start, Xing 10 is going to be a prioritized support, because his one is going to counter those gods, those auto attack gods. He's going to be in their face, and he's super safe. The easiest, safest support to play, because you have a double leap, you have a knockup that makes people not do damage to you, you have the one that counters those gods, you have a CC immune ultimate that fucks with people. So Xing 10, I think, like, if he doesn't pop, he's still A tier for sure, but he could probably become a super prioritized S tier god to me. Yamoja, I think, is doing very well still in the meta and in the game. I think bad players suck dick on her and bring her down and make her seem like more shit, but good players play her great and make her super useful, just like the other supports. Yamir is still really good with his aggression and his wall, just very easy to kill in this Sunder meta. Great, Yamir can stun and sunder. Someone can beat to run away. If Yamir gets sundered, he's dead. You can just easily kill Ymir. Zeus is ass tier. I don't know why the fuck you touch Zeus. Jean-Kui doing a little bit better in the solo lane. Don't mind it when you need some magic, especially if you want some range magic. Tsukiyomi is still one of the best junglers in the game. Nothing has changed for him not to be one of the best. Gilgamesh is still poppy in casuals and ranked, especially with the auto attack builds for solo and jungle. Morgan is the best god in the game. Nothing competes with Morgan. I'm sorry. Nothing at all competes with Morgan. I'm gonna throw Tiamat in A+. Tiamat's actually been losing a lot of games and not doing that well. I mean, they nerfed him multiple times on his minions and shit. That was one of the most annoying aspects. But Morgan, 1 with CDR is only a 3-second cooldown. It's a Hunbat's ult on crack. It's super easy to hit. The range is massive, has movement speed, has a CC immune ult, has insane healing, and the ability to go any of the builds she wants and be hyper useful. Her early game is nuts, her mid game is nuts, and her late game is fully fucking cracked. If you're losing on Morgan, it's because you're bad, not because your teammates, not because of anything else. She should never be able to be dove. You have full amounts of self peel, and really you just can't be dealt with unless you fuck up on Morgan. Her name is Morgan Le Fay, not Morgana. It's Morgan Le Fay. Her one fear might be the best ability in Smite right this second. Move Gilgamesh up now. Gilgamesh is not S+. He can be dealt with drastically. He's one of those gods where he's easily out of position and doesn't have a lot of ways to keep himself safe. And Sunder is going to fuck gods that hard dive if you're positioning properly and don't have a way in and out. That's great that she's also known as Morgana. Her name is Morgan. So when someone says, you mean Morgana? No, I mean Morgan. The name in the game is Morgan. I mean Morgan. Yes, she has multiple names. Did you know almost every god has multiple names? The name in the game is Morgan. So when someone says, you mean Morgana? No, I don't. I mean what it's called in the game and what I fucking said. Well, we're not talking about real life. We're talking about a video game tier list right now. That's great when you can make up every reason for something. We're not changing the subject. Don't pull shit out of left field to make yourself right. You were wrong and say, hey, I was wrong. I hate when people do that, dude. That shit's so annoying. Riley, no one's using your email, bro. Okay, I just got fucked. Never mind. Fuck you, Classified. God, I wish they had gone with Morgana. Me too. Because you have the Morrigan, we have Morgan, and Morgana would be way more. It's like enunciated way more. And everyone thought it was going to be Morgana from the rip. Kronos just isn't doing amazing, and he hasn't been. None of really. Soul's the only one who saw spike and a lot of play. I think Oleron might be played at a comp level because of how pinpoint those players are with the ultimate, where they're not wasting that super long cooldown ultimate plus his buffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of Oleron played out of the ADC role. I want to see Freya pulled up. Like, I want to see Freya played, do well, and be played a lot, because I think she's fun as fuck to watch. She's one of those gods who I feel like either gets shit stomped or gets a penta in a game. Like, one or the other. You either get fully clapped and you're worthless, or you get yourself a fucking penta. Can I screenshot this? Again. Now, once again, tier list could be off. This is the beginning tier list where we're going off of what other players are, or I'm going off of what I see other players doing, what I see in my games, what the game feels like, what I hear other people talking about. Shit could be off. If stuff is off 1 or 2 fucking ranks, like I put an A tier but it's actually S or A+, or I put an A+ and it's actually S tier, like, I'm not freaking out over being wrong by 1 rank. That doesn't mean that much. If you know a god's good, you know a god's good. That was casual rank based for, in my mind, I'm thinking like plat and gold players and then below. It's gonna apply to diamond and everything else. Like, I can go into a Masters game and play fucking Arachne and shit stomp with it right now because it's super snowbally.